Chris, what are you doing?
I'm looking for my notes.
Notes? What notes?
My notes, my questions for today.
I thought we were just going to wing it.
No, we can't wing it. This is an important day. This is our first episode where we have a guest.
I think you can just wing it, at least this one time.
No. I got to have my notes.
Well, then go find your damn notes.
I can't find them. I've looked and I can't find them.
Well, then what are you going to do?
Well, I guess I'm going to wing it and pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Okay, good. I like winging it. Let the fun begin.
It's The Riveted with Chris and Gina.
Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you to episode 3 while Chris continues to look for his notes.
I found them. I got them.
You found them?
Yep.
And?
Well, it was actually only just one question, but I got it.
Oh my gosh. One question was holding us up. And when I sit here and look at you, you are grinning like you are a kid in a candy store. So I know you're up to something.
I'm not up to anything. I'm just happy and excited because this is a fun episode we're getting ready to do. It's our first episode with a guest.
It is.
Yeah. And so I'm excited. Our friends, Bruce and Marcia, are folks we met from the Airstream Club several years ago when we first joined, and we haven't seen them in a while, and excited to have them on the podcast.
I think the last time we actually saw them was a few years ago when the four of us attended a one-of-a-kind Airstream event up in Jackson Center. And I'm really looking forward to talking to them about that today.
That's right. That was an amazing deal.
It was.
And and I'm sure we'll talk about lots of other stuff. Bruce and Marcia are a cool couple, experienced Airstreamers. They've done a lot of traveling, and we're excited to talk with them today. So Bruce and Marcia, welcome to The Riveted with Chris and Gina.
Chris and Gina, it's good to be here. We're honored to be your very first guest on your podcast. And I think that's wonderful. So,
it's going to be fun, Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we've known you guys for a while, but, we haven't seen each other in a while because, Gina and I kind of traverse the country a good bit, and we haven't been able to camp at some of the rallies and stuff with you, but we we've hung out with you a few times and know that you guys are passionate Airstreamers, and we thought of you real quickly as folks that we wanted to have on to just share your experiences and your thoughts, because
we know you got some really good stories to tell.
Yeah.
And we love a good story.
Yeah, we can definitely share some of the stories and some of the experiences we've been through. But yeah, it's kind of hard for you guys to participate all the way. Most of our rallies are right here on the East Coast, right? So right now, your location would make that kind of difficult. But we remember seeing you there at some of our rallies and enjoyed visiting with you and everything. So
yeah, thank you. We feel the same way, and
rallies are always fun.
They are, and we are excited to be able to get back into some of those this fall and spring of next year and stuff like that too. So, Marcia, how are you doing?
I am doing very well.
Good.
We're planning a trip. We've got another camping trip, a rally coming up next Wednesday.
You guys go all the time. You're always going somewhere.
Pretty much do. I think our club has 24 rallies scheduled in 2024.
Oh,
they made a point of that.
That's very, very smart.
Yeah.
In a way, it just makes it for very aggressive. And no, we're not trying to do them all.
So does that make 2 a month then?
Yes,
basically.
And occasionally, when you add in things like Lumalana and things like the big rally down in November down in Ocean Lakes, sometimes there's a couple of other rallies that pop in there, and of course, the timing of international when they do the international rally. We also have another rally in North Carolina that. For the folks that didn't want to make that trip all the way out there. So, and it's at the very same time that international is happening.
Oh, that's very smart.
Well, it is. It's good because not everybody's going to make that trip out there,
Mhm.
but still would want to get together with their friends. So that's good. We want to start each podcast, we think, with asking our guests kind of their entry point or their backstory, so to speak, of acquiring or becoming an Airstream owner, because everybody's at a different place in their life, I guess, whenever they consider, wanting to become an RVer and especially becoming a Airstream owner. So, tell our listeners about that. Like, what's you guys, just pre deciding to get an Airstream, what that was like, and what your rationale was for.
And when was it? Like, how long ago?
Yeah,
How long have you been in Airstream?
All that stuff. Yeah.
We were originally campers. We slept on the ground, camped in tents, then got into pop-ups, and then we started thinking we need something else to look into. And we'd always seen the Airstreams going down the interstate and thought, oh, that's kind of cool. We'll look at that. So we had done exploring our floor plans, trying to look around at the floor plans, and pretty much picked up one that we liked. Just looking at pictures, which is not the way to buy an Airstream, but it's a good start, I guess. So we figured out pretty much what we wanted at that point. And we had gone over to Greensboro to buy a car, and that's all. And we looked at cars and we test drove cars, and we didn't find a car we wanted. So as we went back, we passed by Out of Doors Mart, which is a big Airstream dealer in North Carolina
At that time.
So we stopped and looked in there and asked the sales guy to show us what he had. And so he showed us. And one of the ones was the exact same floor plan that we had been looking at, which was a 23-foot Airstream. We sat in it and we looked at it and we were making numbers on the piece of paper and having a good time and just enjoying the whole room because it was new to us. We had never been inside an Airstream before. And so we ended up talking to the sales guy and says, okay, we want this one. And we're just sitting on his lot. We kept that for a couple of years, I guess.
Yep.
And so it was like you left the house intending to buy a car, but you came back with an Airstream.
Pretty much.
That was it, Chris. I think we when we stopped in there and spotted the very layout that we had been admiring in some of the brochures and stuff. Now you got to keep in mind, I think everyone going down the interstate, when you see an Airstream go by, you take notice of it. Everybody loves the curves, the design, and what it looks like, and it just sticks out. And it's really an iconic thing that's on the interstate. And so I think that was where we started watching those things as they go by. And so, yeah, so Marcia's right. And you were asking about the year, and we're thinking it was somewhere around 2013. And it was the 23-foot Flying Cloud. So the thing about this, though, I have to tell this story. We upgraded to another Airstream, okay, and got the 25-foot, the one we're using now. But what happened was someone told us about a dealership that said, hey, they're really making good deals. And so we did call them up. And he, on the phone, he says what he would give me for our trade-in. So I hung up the phone with Marcia and I said, Marcia, he just offered us the very dollar that we paid for this Airstream.
Wow.
A year and a half of camping in it and around all over the place. And here he is. He's going to buy it for the very dollar that we bought this one from.
Wow, you can't go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with that. So I picked up the phone again. I called him back and I said, now tell me those numbers again. And they did, and they were right. And I said, okay. I said, we're on the way.
Yes.
So,
Take about 3 hours to get there, but
well, we just went down there and traded it in, and we got our 25. So we're working on our second one right now and loving it.
That's
Now,
great.
now, do you still have the flying cloud?
this one's
No.
actually international.
International.
This is
So
the
we learned the difference between Flying Cloud and International. We know what the differences are
Yeah.
as far as the decor goes,
and the funk.
with the trims and the
Yep.
features and the
Yep.
trim packages and stuff like that. So there is a difference.
Yeah. And back to the fact that you were just shopping for a car and then you ended up getting an Airstream, and you're right, Bruce, I bet when you pulled on that lot for the first time and you actually were up close and personal with them, it totally changed your mindset, right?
yeah.
That's absolutely right. Just like Marcia said, we had never been in one before. Just amazed at the design and everything, how neat it was on the inside, and all the features, self-contained, and all this good stuff. And so,
Yeah. Well,
It's nice when you get in there and you sit down and you're just quiet for a minute and you look around and you kind of absorb the interior of the Airstream, and it's a really calming feeling, I think. I felt very calm the first time I sat in the Airstream.
yeah.
we did too. And you know what? I have to associate that. I'd have to say that it feels like you're at home. It
Yeah.
feels like, okay, I can make this a home away from home anytime.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
You
Yes,
sure
sir.
can. And we mentioned in our first episode that Gina and I had about kind of sharing our backstory with everybody about visiting that same dealership. We went to Out of Doors Mart ourselves, and it was the first dealership of any brand that we visited. And on that first visit, he took us out to a model that was parked right up next to the hill that looks down onto the interstate there. And we opened it up and went inside, and he cracked open a couple windows, and the breeze started blowing in, and it was a 30-foot Flying Cloud. And so that was the very first one we walked in, and it ultimately became the model that we purchased. We didn't buy that very trailer that was there that day, but we bought that same floor plan, the very first one we laid eyes on,
Because it felt good.
because it felt good. And it,
Yeah.
And we loved the big windows. It
Yeah.
just felt remarkable. So it sounds like you've had the International for 10 years now. Is that right?
That's about right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And that's they call this one, the International is actually Serenity.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It is serene in there.
That's awesome. And the 25-foot compared to your 23-foot, I mean, the floor plan was different, I'm sure, but it obviously gave you a bigger bedroom, right?
Absolutely. It's got the queen bed, and they've got several different layouts, but this 25 was just right for us. And you know what? That the layout that we were admiring on a piece of paper for that 23-foot, we didn't camp in it very long and figured out that no, we don't like the little dance you do around the kitchen area and stuff like that. So when we got into the 25, and it was just so more open for us, and easier to get around and that kind of thing. The 25, we were looking, the criteria was that it could entertain 6, it could dine 4, and it could sleep 2.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Going for now, we didn't tell anybody. It really is advertised that you can sleep 4 in there, but we didn't tell anybody.
No,
Yeah.
you definitely don't want to do that.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
That's very smart. Very smart.
So I have a question for you guys then. Do you have a favorite place that you have visited with your Airstream?
Wow.
Wow, we've visited so many places.
Yeah. We started getting into the Airstream Club, and that's where we really suddenly had immediately 100 friends that came with that Airstream. So
Yeah, and that takes you to different destinations too. I mean, because you're always wanting to go rally somewhere or go, maybe go to international and different places around the country. And
I mean, camping's fun, but when you can camp with friends, that's remarkable. Yeah.
One of the biggest benefits that we've discovered with the Airstream Club, ACI offers those caravans, and they're all over the country,
yeah,
and you can find a caravan anywhere.
have you
And they're different in how long you want to go and stay, and some of them are real short, like a week.
have you been? You guys have been on some?
Yes, our favorite one is the Southwest Caravan that took us we took our time getting out to. It started in Albuquerque, and you were asking about our favorite locations and destinations and places. Well, I'll have to say that that took us to some most beautiful scenic locations: Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon. Some of the beautiful places out there that are just that you see in pictures, that you never seen in person. So it made a huge difference to go out there and join up with a bunch of other folks, and you get to know them pretty well. Let me. I hate to hog the moment, but
Well, no, you're the guest. You're
You are the
supposed to hog
guest.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hog it.
If you think about two total strangers sitting around a campfire, and you discover that they have an Airstream too, and
That's your connection, right?
suddenly there is a major connection that you have with this other person, that you can ask all kinds of questions, and they can ask you all kinds of questions like, well, what hitch do you use? What's your tow vehicle? What tire brand do you use?
Yep.
Are you using a tire pressure monitor, and just what size is your camper, and where have you been with it? And so it opens up all kinds of discussion and conversation. And so now just multiply that times about 30 people sitting around a campfire. All of them have Airstreams, and you can imagine the conversation that goes on. And there is usually no interruption in the conversation.
Absolutely not. No, you're right. And the other part of that is you're all experiencing that travel. Maybe you're on a caravan and you're all experiencing the same thing, or maybe you're just camping in the same kind of campground. But the bond is the fact that you both own an Airstream and you're comparing notes, or you just immediately have a connection because of that, and the conversation can go indefinitely. Yeah, you're right. And that's one of the things about this podcast that we thought would be cool is to have people share some of these stories, especially for the folks that may be listening that have yet to get an Airstream, but they want to, or they've bought an Airstream and they're doing some camping, but maybe they've not made that trip to Albuquerque yet, and they want to hear some of the cool things about what other people have experienced, So we hope that these kind of conversations can resonate with anybody that's listening, and they can envision what it could be like if they do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that if there are newbies that show up at rallies, and there usually are, that you can always help, because I'll have to I was the newbie, and we were down at Ocean Lakes, and there I was opening my awning, and I was struggling with this awning. And I over my shoulder, I saw 3 or 4 guys over there from in the rally from our club, and they said, he needs some help with that awning. And so they came over and politely helped me and showed me how to do that awning. And so it's a good thing for newbies, when they're first getting started. The members help out and try to show them the ropes and everything about that Airstream. And so that's a big help too.
For sure.
That's a very big help, especially since Airstream prides itself on being more of a manual trailer.
Yep.
You know, you don't push a button and everything happens. You know, you have to actually work it. And have you had like a mishap or something that you went, oops, or I shouldn't have done that, or oh my, this happened, like a little mistake, or
everybody at some point in time will do something that they regret or think, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that.
right?
Yeah. Have you had one of those?
Have you had that?
Well, I think it still kind of falls into the ballpark of being a newbie. And once you learn all of the nuances, all the ropes that you need about that Airstream, you don't do those mistakes anymore. So I think, okay, I remember going to Ocean Lakes another time to that rally, and we were setting up and disconnecting from from the truck, and I let it loose, and that Airstream started moving.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I was supposed to do that, and I thought, whoa, and it started shifting. And okay, so my mistake was that I didn't lock down both sets of tires. You put chocks under both sets or scissor chocks under both of them so that it won't swing. And that's what happened is it started swinging. The tongue started swinging to one side or the other. And it was a scare. I'm going to tell you. So I learned
Big thing to start moving.
I learned a lesson there. And so when somebody comes up now and says, Bruce, why you got so many chocks on them? It's because I've learned a lesson about that.
It's not moving now.
All that I can right there.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And that's a good point to say on the podcast like this. So if there are newbies listening and they learn from our mistakes, right?
Now, you mentioned that you were talking about the club earlier, and I'm correct on this, I believe, but you got immersed in the club to the point that you started working in the officers level in the Carolinas unit, right? Didn't you eventually become president of the unit several years ago?
That's correct. We thought we would step up and become active, and I like the way they encourage people to do this. If you're interested in a leadership role in the club, they kind of want you to step into one of the what they call directors. They have this particular club has 4 director positions, and they're 2-year positions, and that gives you a chance to, because you go to the meetings, the board meetings, and you listen to what they have, the decisions they have to make, what the issues are, and it gets you acclimated to what the club is doing and how they're doing things. And then when they want to, they're looking for a second VP, then they ask those directors first, because they've been in there for a couple of years. They've had a chance to learn how the club operates. And so they're looking there for a second VP. So that's how we did it. We became a director first, and then they asked, well, are you interested in continuing this leadership role? And so, yes. Okay. So now you're a second VP.
Yeah. And Marcia participated too, right? You did a bunch of administrative stuff and the newsletter and everything.
I was doing more the back end stuff. I was doing the newsletter, like you said, did that for a couple years. Did the website for a while. Did all the email stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much did all the background stuff while he was being president.
That's good.
Yeah. And I think I served as a treasurer for a couple of years too.
So there's not any rule against sleeping with the president in the club.
No.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good to know.
No policies about that. Okay.
That's good. That's good. Well, that'll probably help some people.
Leave it to Chris to ask those questions.
It takes your experience to a whole nother level, because you're not only passionate about owning an Airstream, but you're involved in, a social club that of other Airstream friends that you're just helping to keep the entire process vibrant and alive, right?
Well, and it sounds like maybe some clubs are more active than others, but the Carolinas unit's very active this year with
Absolutely.
24 rallies.
Well, and their member base has grown dramatically, right? I mean, we're not
What are the numbers of the member base?
just in this unit.
I think
Close to
400 is what our last number I heard.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I think that is why too they have so many. You have to have rallies that
Yep.
to accommodate all those people.
Yeah, because some people can't come to one, but they want to go to another one, and some space is limited, so you don't want to sell out in the first 5 minutes, and then other people can't participate. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, and that's why we do have Airstreams, right? Is so we can go out and use them.
Well, of
Yes.
course, yeah.
Yes, we want to get out there and camp.
But I think the last time that the four of us were together was a few years back, and we were fortunate enough, and you guys were fortunate enough to be chosen to go up to the Airstream factory when they had their grand opening of their new Heritage Center, and also when they started allowing people to do plant tours in the new factory. And
Ab-
that was an amazing experience for us, and I'm sure it was for you guys too.
It really opened my eyes to a lot of things about the Airstream history that I didn't know. I mean, I did not have a clue of some of that.
Yep.
And walking through that museum and then watching the videos and listening to the people talk was eye-opening and very, very special to me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, I hope you guys did. And when I think about that, or when you think about it, the amazing history behind the Airstream brand itself, how does it make you feel knowing that you're part of that story too?
I think that is first of all, we certainly enjoyed that tour through there. And it was amazing to see the factory. You remember on the second floor, you can go up on there and you can see Airstreams being made for as far as you can see.
Yes.
Yep.
It was absolutely amazing. But yes, it is exciting to be a part of the history that this Airstream has become. It's just one of those satisfying things, especially when you can tell other folks about it and see them start perk up and start listening to, oh, really? I didn't know that. And so they'll tell you, about whatever connection they have to an Airstream. And anyway, it's just exciting, especially when you see other folks learning about them.
Yeah, that event was really cool. I mean, there was a lottery of people that they were chosen randomly, and for you guys to get it, and us too, both from the same state, and and both be able to go was really amazing. And just that event was only going to happen once. I mean, the Heritage Center grand opening was just going to happen once, and to have I think 60 Airstream owners up there, and then other special folks was really cool, and we were happy we were able to share it with you.
And we got to meet the people behind the scenes who actually put that Heritage Center together, and that was interesting too, to have conversations with them and how they found some of the historic Airstreams or parts or whatever they found to make that museum possible.
We parked in the parking lot of the Airstream factory, where essentially the factory employees park whenever they're open for business. So
the new factory.
Yeah, the new factory. So we had 60 plus Airstreams parked in that parking lot. It was dry camping, no hookups or anything like that, but we're right on the grounds of the factory, and for I think 3 nights, and it was a blast. But my question to you was, what kind of unique locations, if any, outside of a traditional campground or RV park, have you guys camped and enjoyed your Airstream in? Some kind of unique location that otherwise you wouldn't have been able to stay there?
as part of the Southwest Caravan.
Yeah.
We parked at Mesa Verde, which was a dry camping thing, didn't have any hookups. And we had gone into town. So we had driven down the mountain, gone into town, looking around, doing our thing for town, and then coming back, and all of a sudden we see white stuff on the ground. And we're like, what's that? And we're like, looking at it. I'm like, it's hail.
Oh,
It was a half inch of hail.
It had hailed while we were gone.
Yeah, I think thank goodness we left somebody back at the campground to take our awnings down, and so
and you didn't have damage?
no damage. No,
And nobody did.
no.
That's good.
Yeah. We run from
Another,
hail.
another use of I got to mention this. I have my family and my two grandsons. They come here for a visit sometimes, and so that's 4 in the house. And so Marcia and I just give them the house, and we move into the Airstream.
Oh, that sounds great.
That's smart.
And we're up just 110 feet away, staying in the Airstream. And I want to tell you something. I sleep better in that Airstream than I do in my home bed.
Mhm. I like that.
That's another thing. And so also, another unique place, and you go visit family. If I go visit them, they're up near Asheville, North Carolina, and so we'll take Airstream up there and park it in their side yard and run a 110, 120
Yep.
cable over there, and so we're set and doing great, and that's where we
So
sell it.
we're home.
So and we're home. I even tell my grandson, he's 6 years old. I said, right over there is where we live. He says, "Why, you don't live over there?" And I said, "Yes, I do. You see that Airstream sitting right there? That's where we're living
This week.
Yeah. Well, we enjoy that too, or that aspect of an Airstream too, because with traveling full time like we do, and we have met friends all over the country, being able to squeeze an Airstream into somebody's driveway or yard is it's easy and also fun. I mean, being able to it's easier than trying to put a big motorhome or a much larger RV of some kind in somebody's residence. And we've been able to squeeze ours into some really cool, unique spots, and then not feel like we're imposing, but we're still able to visit. We got all of our comforts of home right there, and but can still visit in a really nice way, but not feel like we're imposing with them. And we've done that so many times that it is it's just added to be able to take your home with you, or your comforts of home with you, and park somewhere in a location that you don't live but you can still enjoy is really awesome.
Exactly. I bet y'all have probably had the opportunity, just especially out west. There's more places like this where you can just pull off the road somewhere that you like. If you like the scenery or something, there's places that I know that I've heard about. I haven't done this, but you just pull off and camp.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that's pretty much how we camp all the time, unless we're on the East Coast. We prefer not to be in campgrounds, but
we try to seek that out first before we look for other options.
But I want to get back to what we call mooch stocking, and that's when you go to visit someone, but you stay, have your camper with you and you stay. What we hear all the time, especially if they're not RVers, is, "Oh, we got the bedroom ready for you and your shower. You can take a shower." And we're like, well, we have a bed and a shower in our rig.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to come inside.
Air conditioning, they don't understand.
They don't. They don't understand it. Yeah.
That is funny, being able to, or they ask us, "Hey, yeah, we put new sheets on the guest bed. You're welcome to come in." And
We're like, "Well, thank you, but we have our own bed. Like, we don't just stay in our rig." Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And ours is our home. We travel full time in ours and have since 2017. So it is our home.
So
We keep trying to be more and more like Chris and Gina.
I don't know about all that. That Southwest caravan that you were talking about, that's one of the more popular caravans in the Airstream Club, right? And I guess it hits just some of the most epic locations
Absolutely.
all throughout the Southwest, and then it finishes in Albuquerque, right?
At the balloon,
The balloon.
Right.
Or
Yes.
Fiesta, what they
Mhm.
call
Yep.
it. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you that is one adventure after another.
I bet.
That caravan is just fantastic. I'll have to speak highly for it because, I mean, we rode the mules down through Bryce Canyon and
Wow.
sitting on the edge of the Grand Canyon, and you can hike all through there. Anyway, it's just one adventure after another. We went to the Four Corners, and you have to have your picture made at the Four Corners.
You
Yep.
do.
And what year was that?
2018.
18.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. And we just loved it. We talk highly about it and kind of advertise it to everybody else
Yeah.
that we're looking for a caravan.
Did you guys ride in a balloon when you were out there?
We did not.
Some of them did in
Some
our
did.
caravan. Some of them did.
Yeah.
But we opted to skip that one. But
Well,
they did have the balloon rides, and they went on those. And I'm sure that was an adventure right there.
Well, y'all were smart, because I wouldn't get in one of those things for nothing.
Chris likes solid ground under his feet.
Hey, you know what? I don't know that I like it.
I don't like heights.
No way. I mean, I'm not scared of heights, but I don't. There's no way I'd get in one of those things.
Right.
No. I mean, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, to see a large quantity of hot air balloons, especially like at the Fiesta, is amazing. But there's no way I'd go up in one.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so unique. Yeah.
While we were there, of course, they have all of the Airstreams parked right down front where you can just walk to where all the balloons are lifting off from. You just they cater to the Airstream crowd and give them like first park up there.
Right.
And so the Airstream Club near Albuquerque is responsible for parking all the Airstreams and getting them right, and they get you all parked and everything. But while we were there, and they lifted all those air balloons, those hot air balloons up, and there was one that was pretty low, and he was coming over the Airstreams, and he was only about 30 feet above my Airstream. So I'm looking out at him, and he's looking over the basket, and he says, "What's for breakfast?" I mean, he lifted on up after that and left. But it always kind of, you watch them because you're afraid you're going to come down, but they don't. They keep going.
Well, that was special. That was nice of him to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was coming down to say good morning.
For a long time, I can't remember how many years now, over 30 at least, had a balloon festival held in Central North Carolina. And I don't know if you guys have ever gone to that or not, but it was, fairly close to where we grew up. And so we've been around hot air balloons a lot and seen a lot of hot air balloons, but would definitely never want to go up in one.
Chris and I actually would meet at that rally in North Carolina.
Yeah, when we first were getting to know each other and visiting.
Chris was running sound for some of the bands, and I was going to watch Chris run sound for some of the bands.
Yeah, so we would go to the balloon rally, but we would we did other things besides watch the balloons.
Shush.
Yeah.
Don't tell all of our secrets.
I'm not. Hey, so any future plans, any like major things you got planned for the remainder of 2024?
Well, we do have the rally she was mentioning earlier, and next week it's up to Mayberry, which is, everybody knows the Andy Griffith show.
You're going to Mayberry.
That whole place around there is all about the Griffith. We've got about 20 rigs there that's coming, and we'll be there for about 4 days. Then our next one is going to be up at Mills River in North Carolina. It's near Hendersonville, I believe. And there is going to be the iconic wagon wheel where everyone parks in a wagon wheel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like the old Wally Baum
Yep.
wagon wheel rallies that he used to do. So
That's
planning
cool.
on doing that, and that'll be a big rally there at Mills River.
Now, will that be a dry camping or boondocking rally the way they're going to park? Or
Yes, it is.
I think a lot of people, when they see the pictures and like, oh, isn't that so cool? There are no hookups.
yeah, right.
Look at the picture. There are no hookups.
No.
Yeah.
I want to go. Chris, I want to go. Can we get back to North Carolina to go?
That's going to be a trek.
Let's do it.
But it would be cool. I've seen some of those pictures in the past, of past events where they parked that way, and I think that's so neat. Absolutely so neat. We're procrastinators. Well, procrastination's
We're not procrastinators.
We just aren't
not
planners.
planners. We
Yeah.
don't make plans.
And
But like this is what we do when we have conversations with people and someone says, like you just did, oh, our big rally in November at Ocean Lakes. We're like, okay, let's go. We want to go. And then that's how we plan.
yeah,
And then we go. And that could be the day before. It could be the day it starts.
and we've known about that particular rally, and we have the ability. We're going to be in the area to where we could come to it, but I believe right now it's sold out, so we're going to have to keep our eye out for a possible cancellation.
Unless you got some connections in there, Bruce and Marcia.
But we're going to try our best to get to it.
We'll keep an eye out for you too. So
Thank
if we
you.
hear someone, because we'd love to see you over there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we would like to be at that.
We're going to let you know. Okay.
Yeah, we want to get to that one, and
Maybe we could do a podcast there.
yeah, that'd be cool
I bet we could get some interesting stories there.
for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned Ocean Lakes a couple different times, but that is one amazing place. If anybody that's never been there, I mean, it's
Huge.
It's humongous. It's obviously right on the Atlantic Ocean, and it's been there a long, long time. Gina actually grew up in that campground. Yeah.
Well, I grew up going to a campground up the road called Lake Arrowhead, and I loved that campground. But
Yeah.
of course, it closed. But then we moved from there going to Ocean Lakes. So I've been at Ocean Lakes when it was really small, no homes on it. It was just, trees and campers, and it has really exploded over the past 30 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's such a neat place.
Miles square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ocean, it's 1
Yeah.
mile square. That's huge.
Well, we're going to try to sneak into a spot if somebody cancels, and try our best to get to that one and be able to enjoy getting back together with you guys and a bunch of other friends. And we've been talking now almost 50 minutes. Can you believe it? Time just flies, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Yep. Has flown by.
yeah, well,
It does.
we can't thank you enough, and we're glad to know you. We're glad to be fellow Airstream owners with you, and we appreciate so much that you have volunteered to come
Be
on
our-
our podcast.
Be our first guest.
Yeah, be our first guinea pigs. And
Well, Chris, Gina, we have certainly enjoyed this. It's been good talking to you, and so we're honored that
Oh.
you
Yeah.
asked us to be here, and really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. We're
y'all-
honored to have you on.
yeah,
It was difficult going through all your people and getting those contracts
clearances
signed
and all the
and
stuff.
all the
Yeah.
checks we had to send out there.
All
But
that.
once they did our background check, I got really nervous
I know.
about whether or not we were going to be able to do
Yeah.
it.
But here's the other thing. I assume this is still the case, but the thing that we like about you guys too, and we bond with you guys on, is that you're fellow vegetarians, right?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
We lean toward the whole food plant based. We're heavy leaning in that direction.
Yep.
But sometimes it's just being a vegetarian and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
and what we look for restaurants wherever they do vegetarian kind of food. So
we do too.
right there with you.
Yeah,
Yep.
we do that too. And they're becoming a little bit easier to find on our travels now.
All right. Well, yeah, we're not talking Airstreams now. Now we're talking
That's
food.
okay.
But hey,
Food's good.
How do we get off on this?
Yeah,
Right.
we again, thank you guys so very much. We appreciate it, and
Thanks for coming on.
thanks for coming on, Gina. I think we did good, don't you
Look,
think?
we did. I think we made it work.
I think y'all did wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
it was our guest. We had the perfect guest
Yeah,
today. Yes,
it did. It worked out great. I think this is the start of something really good, don't you think?
I do.
Getting that word out there, letting people hear all the fun we're having, all the amazing experiences, and hearing it from folks that are living it and enjoying it, and
Living the dream.
and it's really cool.
So mentioning cool things, Chris, don't we have something exciting coming up this October?
We do. It's very cool, or we hope it's going to be cool.
Cool in the fall.
Cool in the fall, yeah. We have got the Riveted Rendezvous 2024. It's one of our community campouts coming up in Marion, North Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. We invite everybody to check out all the details and come join us if you don't have anywhere else to be.
Right. Those details you can find on therivetedfox.com under our events. And we're going to have axe throwing. We're going to have games and parties and good music and humongous campfires. So be sure to check it all out there and join us. We'll have a good time. So thanks for listening, everyone. We look forward to you joining our next episode, which will be coming up in another week. But
don't commit us to a week.
Oh, we're committed.
Gina.
We're committed. And if we're not, I might have to commit you.
Oh, Grace.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. See you down the road.